Hey Dollhouse people, Whitney LaBrie here, and this week I'm going to be working on the living room and the dining room of my Garfield dollhouse. And what am I going to do? I'm going to put in the lights and the trim. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel by just clicking that little button down below. And while you're at it, you can give me a thumbs up and comment if you like the video. So enjoy it, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week.
What's up, Dollhouse people? So this week I am going to be working on the dining room and the living room and the entryway to the dollhouse, which I'm super excited about. I want to get the wallpaper up, and the first thing I need to start doing though, of course, is start doing the electrical. And one of the things a lot of people do is they plot out where their bulbs are going to be, because when you are doing electrical, and for me, I'm only using one kit. So one kit for me, I think, is like 42 bulbs. So if a chandelier has 3 lights in it, that's considered 3 bulbs. So I plotted it out, as you can see here, my little drawing, so that I could make sure that I'm counting the bulbs as I put them in. And I pre-planned the whole dollhouse to make sure that I bought the right kit. So just know that ahead of time if you're going to do lighting. And then I started drilling my holes and adding the lights. Again, you want to pre-plan. So, you know, this is a light that's actually outside of the dollhouse on the patio, but I'm going to connect it through the interior of the dining room, so I needed to go ahead and install that now before moving on. So for the dining room, I selected this really cool kind of woodland, woodsy kind of wallpaper. Now again, I'm using scrapbook paper as wallpaper, so just keep that in mind. And this is like an 11 by 8.5, I think, paper here. So it's not like as big as some of the scrapbook papers that you can buy. So because of that, I'm going to add some trim to kind of divide this up and cover the lines, and also cover the fact that the wallpaper or the scrapbook paper doesn't actually match up exactly. And you'll see the end result, and I think it looks okay, but you can leave in the comments what you think, or if you have a better idea for me to do in the future, let me know. The floral leaf pattern that I'm going to be doing is actually going to be for the living room portion. And I was going to do a third wallpaper for just the grand entrance, but instead I'm just going to have these 2 wallpapers come together. The other thing to note is that I have that staircase already placed inside, and there's a little storage area underneath the staircase. Once the walls go up, you will not really be able to get to this very well. So I'm already putting in like my vacuum and brooms and mops and little accessories inside there. And then I'll place the door on hinges and load that up, because otherwise, like I said, it's much harder to get to this section of the dollhouse once everything is in place. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your own dollhouse. These little areas are harder to get to. So now I'm going to start working on the windows and the trim, which I love. I found these pieces at an estate sale that I'm going to be using, but you can buy this kind of trim at a local dollhouse shop or online. Okay, now for my favorite part, which is punching out all of the trim and sanding. Okay, so the theme throughout the entire first floor and some of the upstairs is this very chalky gray antiqued finish with a little distressing of a milk chocolate brown. So you're just going to see me using that same paint over again for this trim. Something about the minute I put that on there, I just love the way that it looks. Although I have to admit that I'm a little tired of doing it because I'm using it so much. But anyway, as I started putting the trim in, I did something horrible. I knocked over my statue on my staircase and broke off the head. Back to the trim. So I started putting the trim up. I start putting the windows up. I just like the way that it starts to feel as the room begins to just come together. And you can see in the dining room how I've added that additional trim between the wallpaper lines to hide the seam, but also kind of give it a better flow. Like you don't notice right away, or unless you're really looking for it, that the wallpaper doesn't evenly match up to one another. People ask me about the kind of glue that I use. So I tend to use the tacky glue for the windows is when I really use that. And I use the clear glue for the wallpaper. Again, when I do wallpaper, I do not do the entire piece of paper. I mostly don't do that because I'm using scrapbook paper, which can easily wrinkle. The wood glue, of course, I use that for the wood. And the hot glue, I use it a lot of the times in combination with the wood glue. So for instance, if I'm doing a trim piece, I'll put the wood glue in the middle, and then I'll dab a little dab of the hot glue on the ends, just little tiny, and just so it will hold in place and not slip while I'm waiting for the wood glue to dry. And there you have it, the unfinished project, but there it is with the lights on. So I still have to do flooring trim. I still want to do curtains. There's a removable piece, a bay window piece outside the entryway that I want to do, that I still need to do for this. I am not quite ready to do the front door because I want to do something very special to the outside. So I'm not really going to worry about the doors quite yet for this video, but we'll get to that another time. But anyway, that's it. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Again, it means so much to me. We need to be friends. So be friends with me, subscribe, follow me on my Facebook page, which is Whitney LaBrie Events. And if you are interested in dollhouse miniatures, I do sell used dollhouse miniatures on my eBay site, which is Whitney1614. The link is below. Click on the link, see what you like, buy what you need. That website is always growing. So get back to your own dollhouse projects, and I'll see you next week.